So I got some new books recently. This book came in the mail, The Shallows: How the Internet is Changing the Way We Think, Read, and Remember. This was actually recommended to me by Brandon Boyd, not personally. He has a blog and he recommended one of these books because he was talking about how, literally what this book is talking about, how the internet is just kind of warping our perception of reality and it's changing the way we process and read information. Um, and I thought it was just so interesting the way he felt about it and the day and age and how media is literally taking over our lives. And at the end of the blog, he recommended a few other books. But this one I just started. I only read like 5 pages, but so far, love. And I really look forward to seeing what this book is about mostly. This book I just got today. I just bought this book today. The Mysteries of Life and Death. This one doesn't have like a cover, it's like hardcover, but The Mysteries of Life and Death. And this one, I read it, I got it at Half Price Books as well for $6. $6 Really good, really good. I read this one a little bit in the car, but so far, my hypothesis so far is that we're just, I mean, like the book is really coming from like a scientifical, intricate, elaborate sense of things that are living, like plants, insects, animals, atoms, and organisms. Like it's really like diving into the complexities of living things and things that are dead. But right now we're starting off, the book seems to be starting off with life, and then I'm assuming it'll just work its way through death. But I can't wait. Like it's so interesting. Like it looks like a fucking magazine. Like I'm so excited. Like look at this, so many cool articles and stuff. Like I'm excited for. Like I just would love to like read this for like hours. Oh my god. So this one I'm really excited to read. I've been reading this book for 3 years now. And honestly, I'm really happy I picked it back up because you know what? There's so many books in my room that I have where I buy them, they collect dust for like a year, and then I'll be at a point in my life where I'm like, why should I go buy a new book when I literally have books in my room? And so it's funny because I started reading this book. The chapter I left off like years ago was the chapter I needed to feel seen and heard. Like it started talking about EDMR, it started talking about yoga, it started talking about how trauma, literally the body keeps the score, and about how trauma lives in the body and how to work through that and work through like all of the trauma that's in your body, that lives in your body, and to kind of like expel it, to expel the energy and to kind of like really just like cleanse yourself and to, I don't know, just feel better mentally. So it's really interesting how this book like came to my life like at the time I needed it most. So this is one that I'm also reading. How to Be an Adult in Relationships: The 5 Keys to Mindful Loving. And this one is honestly pretty interesting. I left off on page like 111. I'm on chapter 4. Also, my bookmark is this little fairy I drew a long time ago. I haven't read this book in like 2 weeks, but from what I remember, up until I got to chapter 4, this book has given me a lot of insight on how we choose partners like as adults. Like the way you choose a partner is, it's kind of like you're looking at your parents' qualities. Like however your parent treated you is essentially how you're gonna like navigate the world finding a partner, you know what I mean? And so like I think the book really highlighted on that subject a lot. It highlighted a lot on trauma, and a lot of these books seem to be like self-help stuff. So this one is really self-help, and like lately I've been trying to like steer away from self-help because I just feel like I've had enough, bitch. I have so many self-help books. There's more books behind there, but the Squishmallows are like covering it. But I have so many fucking self-help books. And now on chapter 4, Like, the dude's gonna be talking about, and it's an old man, I don't know if he's a dude, but the dude is gonna be talking about like high romance and how to get in a relationship and blah blah blah. And I don't know if it's the ADHD in me, but like sometimes when I'm reading a chapter, I get so fucking bored because sometimes I feel like, why am I wasting my time with this? Like, why the fuck am I gonna sit here and consume information that I know will not be useful to me? I mean, obviously, unless you read it, it may be useful to you, but like, I just kind of get so like next chapter, I'm like, next, I don't really need this, not for me. And I like go to the chapters where they intrigue me the most. So that's been kind of, I don't know if you're supposed to read like that, but sometimes that's how I be reading when it comes to self-help books. I'm like, because some of the stuff I'm just like, I don't really need this. It's kind of like, it's really just being being very picky about like your therapies, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to consume a bunch of information that's going to be like essentially useless to me. Like, so I'm very particular about what I read and what how many chapters I spend my time on and all that stuff. So far it's these and these that I'm reading. And then lastly, House Fires by Connor Franta. Really awesome photos. He writes cute little poems and just speaks about his experience being gay and not being hypersexual. And honestly, this is another book where I feel like, oh my god, like, I'm at the point in my life where I'm finding these books, I'm like rediscovering these books that resonate with who I am currently in real time. And I just think it's beautiful. Timing is everything. Like, I think like 3 years ago, I don't think I would have been able to read this and really resonate with it because I wasn't in the state of mind that I am in now to relate to it, you know? And so now I'm reading this and I'm like, oh my god, like, yeah, bitch, I love poetry. I write poetry all the time. Like, I relate to this so like hardcore. So I really like, this is a really good like this is a good pastime book if you want to be on the porch, you know, drinking a Smirnoff and it's sunny and windy outside. You just want to like take the edge off. You don't want self-help. You don't want anything too intense. You read this lovely right here. This is a good little, and there's just like a collection of stories too, a collection of essays about just like his life and the trips he's gone on and stuff. So that's really interesting. So, and like, because I've kind of like taken out a lot of distractions in my life, I'm dead ass the type of person to where if I say I'm gonna do something, if I introduce something new into my life, I essentially make it my entire personality, and that one thing becomes like my everything. Like, it becomes like my biggest fixation. Like, literally reading, I love it. It's my personality now. I don't really watch that much TV. Like, I read, like, I just want so many fucking books because I feel like, and you know what, that actually brings me to my point, is that I find that my fixation with wanting to read so much kind of comes from like doom scrolling on the internet. And when I mean doom scrolling, I don't mean like social media doom scrolling. I mean like researching doom scrolling. Like whenever I'm curious about something, I immediately go to Google because I want to read all of the millions of fucking articles talking about this one topic. And I feel like that's the way my mind has been programmed to process information. So I find these books that just have everything I want to know. And so I'm like, I got to read all of it and just consume all of it. Like, I got to know the extensive, elaborate detail on this topic. So I feel like, you know, it's funny enough, you know, I feel like in a way that's how the internet is kind of like reshaped my mind, and the way that I process information is just like jumbles of information, and I take what resonates with me the most. And honestly, I've been able to kind of find my love for books again with doing this. Like, it reminds me of being a kid and just being so bored and having nothing but time to just explore your mind, be imaginative. And books have really allowed me to work out that imaginative muscle, I guess. And honestly, I love it. I really love it. So, I mean, eventually I would like to change like my genre of books that I read, because I've had enough of self-help. That's why I got this like Scientifical Life, The Mysteries of Life and Death book, because that one is like really interesting and like really intriguing. It's not even really like self-help, it's just more like like social science, I guess. Like, I don't know. But that one's really cool. But don't get me wrong, I love the therapy books. And this one's like more of like philosophy, I guess. Philosophy, social science, self-help, therapeutic books, like autobiographicals. Those are like the genres I'm kind of floating amongst. But I feel like my taste in books is evolving because for a long time I was really into like mangas and reading BL and romance and stuff. And that's not to say like I wouldn't be able to read something related to romance now. I think it just would have to, I don't think that's just something I'm interested in. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I'm not interested in romance. Like, I don't know. I don't really care about romance. Like, it's gotta be good. It's gotta be, like, action packed. Like, I don't know. It's gotta be, like, a really good, action packed, like, you're drawn and connected to the characters to where the romance isn't the highlight of the storyline. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Like, I can't really read romance. Like, a part of me won't really take it seriously. I just feel like I'm more drawn towards just action, psychological thrillers, a really great storytelling. And you know, if romance is in the storyline but not the majority of the storyline, I wouldn't mind that. I like a little bit of romance. Romance me up. I like some romance, but having it be the main plot, nah. I kind of, that's what I mean. Like, I've kind of just outgrown a lot of that. And I like information. Like, I love just like having bouts of information and just like consuming so much information. Love that. Love it. But that's kind of where I'm at, you know? That's where I'm at. So, I'm starting a book club. Jazz's Book Club 2025. Be there or be square.